Thank you, Janot. Good evening to everyone. It is indeed evening where I am. Perhaps it's evening where you are. And I'd like to read to you this piece that I put together from some of the lines that was given to us earlier in the session, as Janot told you about. It's called Racism, Exclusion, and Risk. We've got work to do. Racism and exclusion puts too many lives at risk when it's already hard enough for so many to just exist. Many subsist in brutal ecologies, which is tough enough without having to float adrift in seas of hostile policies. Policies made by mindsets that refuse to heed forecasted disasters, disasters that could have been prevented or at least addressed sooner rather than after the fact. But that doesn't seem to happen as much as it should, as it could. Why is that? Could it be that often those most negatively affected, the populations most neglected, don't look like, live like, vote like, worship like those making the policy decisions? Or like those holding the purse strings? Or simply aren't old or influential enough to demand a say in things? Possibly. I mean, we know that political and natural shocks come and go, but somehow policies based on racism and exclusion seem to stay. Is there something perhaps within us that seems to like it that way? Can't we reimagine a better future with better days? Can't we conjure and create new and better ways? Why do so many of us listen to the voices of never? The voices that say, I will not give up one creature comfort for anyone, including and especially them, ever. Not even for the chance at a better humanity. Voices of those grown comfortable with angry racial calamity, who believe that equity and equality are ignorant frivolities and have no interest in racial amity. Perhaps some of these are members of your own families. Well, they're also members of mine. And perhaps because we love them, at times we've ignored their ugly mentalities, began even accepting their dismissive, shrug-shouldered toleration of brutality. If you are like me, you probably wonder, where is our braveness in these times filled with so much graveness? Where is our refusal to buckle? Where is our desire to bring the muscle, sinew, and nerve to serve in these times filled with so much struggle, so much doubt and drought and flood and dim tides of human blood? What happened to our desire to speak up and take action? What happened to our fiery, fierce compassion? Did it get into a car crash? Develop a bad case of whiplash? Did we put its neck in a brace so it cannot turn around and face how inhumane we have so often been to one another? Oh, dear sisters and brothers, in-betweens and others, these are ways of being that we as members of this species have to own. Our complicity must be made known, at the very least, to ourselves at least. We must be brave enough to ask, what is this rough, slouching beast that has caused so much unnecessary human suffering and pain? We must be brave enough to face the fact that it sometimes wears our faces and often will answer to our names. What do we have to lose if we confront that monster within us? When compared to all we have to gain, what do we lose? Rising despair, imminent warfare, environmental nightmares, a world that's unfair in which we all can share. What do we gain? A possibility to repair what's broken, We gain the notion of a world that has been cracked open and can now be stitched back together and made much better by threading it with truth, reconciliation, and a humanistic sense of hope. And isn't that worth it? Clearly, many of us here think so. And we are not alone, despite how sometimes it feels like it. Look around, and you'll see others here like you who wish to fight this virus of human disunity. Invest time in vaccinating themselves against it through a kind of resilient herd immunity. One developed by being together in a community built brilliantly on responsive learning, anti-racism, non-exclusion, and equal opportunity. See, we have work to do. We have no time for seductive human embitterment. We need to be dedicated to the production of human betterment. Make sure resources for disasters are not tossed around, misused, or abused, but are better spent. See, we have work to do. Work to rise above our comfortable fears, clear our ears of the naysayers' jeers so we can hear the flood before it comes. Help those taken underwater to learn to swim, and catch those who just want to take the money and run. We have work to do. Work to stay alert for the coming disasters that the excluded will surely face. Work to make the early warning systems turn a blind eye to race. Work to securely cement vacillating climate support and make sure that the youngest among us have both voice and choice. Work that creates bridges across the vast chasms of human understanding. Work that manages to bring sanity to humanity, that renews the blue of our planet, that rectifies this world's wrongs. Work that lets all the victims put at risk by racism and exclusion know that, like us, they are not alone, though sometimes it feels like it. Let them know they are more than voiceless statistics, hopelessly lost in the thick mist of politics and big business. Yes, we've got work to do. So let us continue to do it. Each day, putting our shoulder steady to the rock, ready to get sweaty and get to it. Every day, understanding just a little bit more that a better world is not only possible, but that it will happen. It will happen if we believe and if we show up every day, willing and ready to roll up our sleeves and get cracking. Roll up your sleeves. Don't get despaired, get to work. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you.